Alright, how's everyone doing tonight? Okay, so who here has ever experienced two polar opposite feelings but at the same time? Let me see a show of hands. It's very hard for me to see your hands, but okay. Well, that's really good because right now I am freaking out, but there's this calmness because you know, I know what I'm here to do and I know why I'm here, and I'm happy that I get to be here with you guys. I mean, you guys are literally the select individuals that I get to share this experience with. And for those of you who don't know, this is my first event. You know, I'm 22 years old, and one day I just sat down and said, I think I'm gonna write a book. I don't know what the hell about, but I think I'm gonna do it. And I did, and it's amazing. And I don't know if this was on the, I believe it was on the itinerary for tonight, but we actually have a little speech, and I'm gonna be talking about things that are in the book, things that are in my mind, things that I think we can all really connect with. And I'm gonna sit down, because my legs are shaky and I'm still really nervous. But yeah, thank you so much everyone for coming out. My name's Adam Becker, and for those of you who don't know me, I'm one of the co-hosts of tonight's event, and you know, I published a book and wrote a book called I Love. It's right below my chair, but I'll be doing a chapter reading at the end of this speech. And you know, I don't really know why you guys came. I don't know why you came here. I don't really need to know why. Maybe it's because you're a friend of mine. Maybe you're a friend of Dixon. Maybe you heard about a little book getting out into the world. Maybe a melody in your heart called you here tonight. Or maybe you heard about the visionary violinist, or the author with a message. I don't really know why you came, but I'm here to say I'm really happy that you guys did. Because the fact that every single one of you, and I don't even, you know, I mean this collectively, but I'm trying to stress individually the fact that you, and you, and you, and you, and you all chose to come here. And it couldn't be any other way, because it simply is what it is. And we're all here together. So, I mean, let's hear a little round of applause for that right now. So, holy cow. You guys are gonna have to bear with me. I should share this information with you. I was really, really sick all week, and today is the first day I'm recovering, but I still have that little head funk. But yeah, what do I even, so let me think for a second. Best public speaker in the world, I know. Preparedness. Yeah, I had, you know, to be honest with you guys, I didn't put the most preparation into this, because I knew when I came here that it was just going to be in the now. I can channel it. I don't need to write everything on a piece of paper, because I'm a sophisticated being with very feeling thoughts and very intense emotions, and I like to think we all are. And so, okay, we're back on track. Yeah, I collected myself. Tonight I am going to be talking about a lot of things, you know, things that could be very well controversial, because we exist in pretty controversial times. But, you know, I like to think at the end of the night, everything is going to come back to one thing only, and that is love. And, you know, tonight I'm starting this off with this thing called love, this four-letter word that we all crave so much, and we want it more than anything, and it is in our inherent nature to do this, and to feel it, and to want it, and it's everywhere. But at the same time, I'm so frightened at how much you don't see it around at the same time. You know, we walk around scared to look at one another. We're scared to look in each other's eyes. This is one of the controversial things, you know, we carry guns out of fear that harm might be brought our way. And we live in really troubled times, but ultimately this is my truth. I'm not a person that pushes beliefs. Because you know what? When that light bulb goes on in your head, it's because you turned on the light bulb. It is not because another person did it for you. It is because you chose to come to that truth. And my truth is love. Everything is love. I see it in everything. And you know, like Colton said, I'm not perfect. I make mistakes. Boy, I'm flawed. But you know, I like to think that we're all perfectly flawed. And we are all so uniquely shaped and carved, and it's wonderful. And so tonight I'm going to be talking about love, and I have to share this amazing quote with you that I once heard, and it was a very wise man named Leo Buscaglia once said, "Don't miss love. It's an incredible gift." And you know, I'll never forget the day I heard these words, because I was sitting in a classroom, my university classroom at Saginaw Valley State University. This was last year. It was the second to last day of class, my third year of college. You know, summer's around the bend. It's exam week, so it's kind of tedious, and you're like, oh my god. But, you know, grades were never an issue for me. And, you know, I had good grades, and I had a beautiful house that I was living in, and I had really cool roommates, and I had friends, I had a job, I had status. I had this thing that, you know, we're all told. I feel, let's be honest here, there is a very traditional and conventional route in America, and I'm not dissing that route. College, you know what? If you want to go to college and that's going to get you to where you want to be, absolutely, do it. I applaud you for doing that. But you know what? It's not the only way. It's not. It is not. There isn't a way to do life. You just do it. And you know, I didn't know that at the time. This was over a year and a half ago now. And my whole life, I had just always been the person who needed to impress everyone. And you know, my disability is a very large contributor to that, because you see, for instance, if you were all talking right now, I guarantee you that it would be incredibly difficult for me to have a conversation with someone in something intimate and something real, because I hear through a microphone. Literally all the sound goes right here. So if something's louder than you, I'm probably not hearing you. And imagine that in a little boy that's 6 years old. No one tells you how to deal with it, how to cope with it. You know, you learn to do it. And so I did what I felt I needed to survive. And that was my classic thing. I do it now because I don't give a damn anymore, but my classic thing was, what did you say? You know, if I'm talking to someone, and it would be what? And when I was little, the ever classic response would always be, never mind. And you know, that really, I didn't know it at the time, that every single never mind that I received hurt my soul a little bit more. And eventually I stopped asking what, and eventually the conversations around me became blurred and quieted. And when that happens, there's only one voice to turn to. Yours, the one in your head. And you know what? That can be a beautiful disaster, because when you go within, you find the most breathtaking results. But when you go in, you have a real chance of letting your mind get to you. And you know, that little boy, his mind really got to him, and it told him that he wasn't important. People weren't worth repeating. Or he wasn't worth repeating the words that people had said, and so I started surviving. I did what I felt I had to, and then next thing you know, surviving was all I knew to do. It was all I knew how, and I started learning to blend more and more and more, and it is scary how we can become the greatest actors. we can all have people so fooled from our authentic self because we're all secretly trying to fit in. And we all secretly want people to like us. And we all want love. We all do. And, you know, I tried so hard to fit in. And, you know, there I was at Saginaw Valley State University in a classroom, and I hear these words. I gave you the first part. I gave you the first part of the quote, but the rest of the quote is, it's, "Don't miss love. It's an incredible gift. I like to think that the day you're born, you're given the world as your birthday present. And it bothers me that so few people even bother to open up the ribbon. Rip it open. Tear off the top. It's full of love, magic, and joy, and laughter, and tears, all the things that are your gift for being human." And I heard these words, and I sat back in my chair, and I looked at my professor, and I was like, what the hell? Like, why I had never been so awe-inspired by something. I really hadn't, I promise. And, you know, I left that classroom that day, and I came to a realization that I didn't know love. I've loved people over my life. I have, prior to this point. You know, I love my dad, I love my mom, and my friends, but you want to know something? The biggest secret that no one seems to talk about is all that love. I don't want to say it doesn't matter, it's discredited, but you know what? There's one love that you need to learn first for all other loves to come into fruition. And that is love of yourself. And I realized on this day when I left that class that I didn't know love. I didn't know how to interact with it. I didn't know how to receive it. I was never taught how to. You know, I think, you know, it's funny, my parents they're such kind people. We don't always see eye to eye, but I see such good in their heart and in their eyes. And I also see a lot of hurt, because I think life has been hard on all of us. And you know, I think I can attest to this, and it's okay, because we all have our way of expressing, we all have our way of being ourselves. But my parents, you know, my mother and father, they aren't they aren't the most expressive people. And you know, I think they would probably attest to that. They're more I don't want to say closed off, because that's not exactly right, but I think you guys know what I'm saying. They're more of an introverted part of love. And you see, that's how I grew up not really knowing it. Because when that's where I come in with love, you know? Everyone has their own way of expressing it. You know, it's the little things. Thank you for doing that. Or it's reaching out for someone's hand. It's those little acts that make all the difference. But I am here to tell you that I think, just be expressive. You know, what are we all so scared of? And I actually know what we are scared of. We're scared of being vulnerable. We're scared of letting people see what's us. Because after all, if they know what is really in you, they know the true you, it poses danger that they could hurt you later on. And you know, I think we've all been very hurt over our lives. I think we've all gone through very traumatic events. But you know, you want to know something I've learned over the past year and a half, is that those traumas take you, if you let them, to deeper truths. Because there is, you know, it's always interesting when someone asks me, well, you know, you're all about love and positivity, but what do you say about a parent that has to bury their child? And you know, I don't know, because that breaks my heart to even think. I've never witnessed that, and it happens every day. It's probably happening right now. There's a million really sad things happening right now, but you want to know something? There is a million really cool things happening right now, and this is one of them. and you're all one of them. I gotta get some water. And so I left the classroom that day, and you know, I guess you could say that is really, it could arguably be the day that sparked my journey. It could. But I don't say it was. Fast forward 9 weeks. 9 weeks to a Saturday night at a music festival in Rothbury, Michigan, Electric Forest. Yeah. You know, I went to this festival, and wow, let me tell you, I had never done anything like this. I had always been the polished, good guy, you know, I partook in the college partying, you know, the ridiculous binge drinking, but I had never been to something so out of my element. And I said, you know what, screw it, I'm gonna go, I'm gonna take a chance. So I went with 4 people. 4 people out of 40,000 people. And I went to this festival. And I had the time of my life. I did. You know, I looked around and I was like, wow. So, you know, I realized I don't know how to interact with love. And here, I'm finding it in every spot, in every person. And I realized, literally to this exact thought, why can't I be as happy out here, out there in the world, as I am in here? And I thought about that, you know, and I realized, I was like, wow, I'm having the time of my life right now. And you know, I said there is light that comes from darkness. Well, the Saturday night, let's say it took a very, very dark turn, because, you know, I realized I wasn't as happy outside of the festival grounds. On Monday, I returned back home to everything I knew, to everything I had always known. Structure and status, all the things that seemingly I had happiness, you know? Everyone would always tell me, you're good looking, you're smart, you're charismatic, you are going to go so far. And you know what? They weren't wrong, because I am about to do some crazy stuff. But, you know, that wasn't in the way that they were seeing it. They were seeing it, you know, you're going to get your degree and who knows, you would be good at a business firm or a marketing firm. And you know what? That's really awesome. But that's not my path. And so at this festival on Saturday night, I don't want to give too much away because it's in the book. It's the first chapter, actually. And I came to a deeper truth that, and it was the hardest truth of all, that I really hated my life, who I was, and where I was, and what I was doing, and what I was standing for. And I had become a puppet to society's games, and I did it so well. That's what was so alarming to me. And how did I escape from something that I had always known? How did I escape from something that it didn't seem there was an escape? It really didn't. But that's not true. And so the festival came to a close. And the very next day, I left that festival and I went home. And I drove all the way to my dad's office, and it was in Inkster at the time, which that's like an hour hike for me. I drove all the way there, and I pulled him aside. I said, "Dad, I need to talk to you." And he said, "You know, yeah, what's up?" I said, I'm moving home. He was like, what? And I was like, I'm moving home. And I cannot tell you, I had just left the festival. I had just had this life-changing realization that I didn't like who I was or where I was or what I was doing. And so I knew I needed to make a change. But do you think I knew what that change was? God, no. I had no idea. I I literally was freaking out. I went to my father and said, I'm moving home because I don't even know what else to do. And I didn't give him much details. And he didn't ask. I just said I needed to move home. And thank you, Dad. And he's out there in the crowd tonight, so thank you for that. And so I did. I moved home. And from there, that is where the real story starts. Because after moving home, away from everything I once knew, away from my friends at Saginaw Valley, away from the house, away from my jobs, away from my status, and I started realizing that, wow, there's a whole person here that I need to get to know, because I never took the time to get to know him. I pushed him aside. I put him under the rug. And it was a really beautiful process to get to know more about myself. And when I moved home, I knew that there was one thing I knew I had to do, and that was travel. And because I knew deep down, even though I was not the spiritual being then that I am now, but I didn't know that. Or I'm sorry, it's totally backtracked. I knew I wanted to travel and go see the world and see humanity and learn. There are so many people that do not even leave their towns. They're born in a small town in New Jersey and they never leave it. And that's okay, but that frightens me at the same time, because you know what? You want to know how you grow? You introduce yourself to new things. That is how you grow. You come to deeper truths when you challenge yourself. Get comfortable with something that makes you uncomfortable. Do something different. And so I knew I was going to travel and go see the world. And this was right after I had moved home. And one day I was sitting on my computer. I'm just going to hold this. One day I was sitting on my computer and I stumbled across this YouTube clip. And it was for another music festival. Gotta love those. And it was for a festival called Lightning in a Bottle. It's a transformative festival that takes place in California every year. And I don't even think I knew it was in California at the time. And I certainly didn't know when, but I saw this video. And it was another moment. I like to think there are moments that change us as we go on through our life. Because we're infinite beings. We're always changing in a million complex different ways, because things are happening to us that make us change. Always. And you know what? You can try to fight that change. You can try to keep everything the same in your little comfortable bubble, but I hate to burst it to you, that bubble's gonna pop really quick. Because that's life. It is certainly always interesting. And, I saw this video for Lightning in a Bottle, and I said, I am wherever the F that is. I'm gonna go there, because that looks like heaven on earth. And I looked it up, and it turned out to be, I think it was July of last year that I discovered this, and it is in May. So, and then, you want to know something? My traveling expedition, I started planning it. I didn't know if it was actually going to happen, but I started planning, and, that's what's so beautiful. If you put an intention to something, if you put an intention to your dream, because at the foundation of your dreaming lies the deepest forms of your creation. And, I planned this massive trip to go travel the country, and I actually did it. I went to Lightning in a Bottle. I'm wearing the wristband right here, and it was amazing. And I knew before making this travel, as I found myself deeper in my truths, I guess I should disclose this to you guys, because this was a very big part of my changes. My whole life I was actually a declared atheist, which is, for those of you, I don't even know the standard definition, but it's pretty much you don't really believe in anything, you don't know what to believe. in my whole life, I had no idea, you know, because I was so miserable. I was getting through life just to get through it one more day in this existence. And you know, when I thought we died, I thought we rotted in the ground, and that was all there was to it. I thought that was all there was to this human existence. But after moving home, through the help of beautiful, beautiful people, oh God, I could name a million names. They're in the book. So yeah, they helped me come to deeper truths and really realize that this thing called love, how do you find it? You go within. And you know, that's not the easiest thing to do, to maybe go back to your past, to what you once knew, and to unlock some things that are a little scary for you. It's not easy. No one ever said it would be. Actually, no one ever said that living a spiritual existence is easy and happy vibes all the time. That's not what it's about. It's all about when the going gets tough, you know what? You keep your head held high. You might feel shitty for a couple days, maybe a week, but the point is you get back up. You do not let that define you. Because I promise one day, if you do let that define you, you will wake up and find yourself lost. More lost than you could ever imagine. I know because I've been there. You know, 21 years, and yes, I know that probably 8 of those years is not conscious memory, but I think you know what I'm saying. For all my life, I was just getting by. And then I came to realize, wow, you know, if you really just open your mind and your soul and your heart to what is going on here, to the world around you, and what we are in and what we are doing. I mean, guys, we're on a planet, like, floating through space. That's pretty cool, right? And every single, like, particle and molecule that has to be perfectly attuned to hold your body together, this place together. I mean, this is cool shit. I am not joking around. I'm not. You know, that is why I'm here. I used to, let me tell you, never did I think I was gonna amount to anything. How can you when you don't like yourself? And now I wake up every morning, every single morning, and I just know in my mind, I'm here to change the world. I'm here to do big things. And you want to know something? If you want to do big things, you can. I promise you can, because you know what? Every single one of you is so deserving of what you want and your happiness. And I think a big thing that comes with this is a lot of us don't know what to ask for, or we're made to feel sorry for asking. It's ridiculous. You deserve everything you could ever want. You know what? The universe might provide it for you a little differently than you asked for. There's keeping it interesting again for you. But you might find, if you go to a deeper level, a deeper truth, that you really got what you wanted. It's amazing. And sometimes the things that you did want, you got exactly what you wanted. I said I was going to go to Lightning in a Bottle. Check. And then, you know, one day before my travels, I said, I'm coming to a lot of deep realizations. A lot of people, I really must thank my friends, because I had such you know, because I'm not perfect. I have low self-esteem issues still. And it was my amazing friends after moving home that really, you know, they would come to me. You know, I had a mirror, you know what's up. Can you help me out with this? Or you want to hang out? And, you know, it made me feel good. It made me feel important. And one day I woke up and I thought, maybe I do have something important to share. Not just with the person that asked, not just in here, but with the world. Maybe I do. And so I wrote a book. Check. I mean, it's amazing. guys, you can do whatever you want. And I really, that's why, you know, this event with Dixon, I could have very simply came up here, said thank you for coming out, thank you for buying a copy of my book. I could have said a very short thing. But I told Dixon, I said, you know what, I want to talk. And let me add, I've never done anything like this. So this is awesome. Like I am right now getting comfortable with the uncomfortable. So cheers to you guys. Hell yeah. So, you know, and I really hope, I mean, my vibration is through the roof right now. I have chills all over, and I really hope that that's happening for some of you too, because, you know, we have these sparks, those moments where you change, you feel different, you're inspired, but we let them fade away. And then we go back to reality, bills and houses and cars, and you know what, that is what we're in. I am aware that we live in the United States of America, and you know what, you want to know something? My boss just went to Africa, and she came back and she said, we are blessed, incredibly blessed. There are children that don't have a house to sleep in. It's amazing. So you want to know something, when you feel yourself starting to slip back to what you've always known, say thank you. That's all you have to do. Look up, look down, because if you look down, you're grounding yourself. If you look up, you're raising yourself. Just say thank you, and mean it. And you want to know something? This took me a very long time to understand. If it sounds inauthentic, thank you. And it doesn't sound real, keep doing it. I saw a very amazing speech about a man who talked about emotional withdrawals and deposits. And if it doesn't sound authentic to you, that means that your heart has done more withdrawals than deposits. And I think we should all start working on deposits, guys, because we deserve it. So I am excited. I didn't know I was going to be able to talk this long, and I did. So I am about to read a chapter from my book, and then we're going to get the rest of the night rolling. I'm really excited, guys.